It is not just Republicans now under attack from Boss Limbaugh. Tea Party protesters are now under attack from the guy who helped to conceive the Tea Party protests. The genius is Eric Odom, describing himself as, quote, the guy who both developed the site and concept for the protests. Mr. Odom sending a letter to supporters in which he voices misgivings about the entire affair, saying, quote, I find the Tea Party effort in a very disconcerting position at the moment. Among other things, he believes that the movement is focusing too much on the federal government instead of doing what the proverbial bumper sticker advises one to do in politics, act locally. Quoting him further in this letter, I cringe when I see people claiming to be leaders in this movement make statements about the federal government and how that is where all of our energy needs to be spent. Here's a memo for you. The current administration, as well as the current Congress, are doing a fantastic job of defeating themselves. Not to say we just ignore them, but if we devote all of our time to the federal fight, yet lose our states, we do so at our own peril. Of course, Fox News couldn't make a pretend story out of that. As one of the brains behind the original operation, Odom describing the Frankenstein he helped to create as something that was morphed into another creature entirely. Quote, essentially our function as a website was solely to market local tea parties and help organizers collaborate. That was it. Let's turn now to the Washington editor of The Nation magazine, Chris Hayes. Chris, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
So the guy who helped to conceive this idea, these Tea Party protests, pushed by Fox News as the federal movement focused on tax relief, of course, for the wealthiest of Americans. This guy is upset that what he helped to create is now a national movement. The first question here is, did he see the video? Is it really a national movement?
Yeah, I think movement is a little strong at this point. I do, though, have quite a good deal of sympathy for his point. I mean, I think there are conservatives and average sort of citizens who have a set of principles that are sort of anathema to the ones the government are pursuing. And they're frustrated and angry, and it's a democratic country in which we sort of cherish our right to protest. And there was some bit of sort of actual, genuine, organic grassroots feeling behind this. And then it was completely sort of hijacked in a pretty, I thought, actually exploitative way by the Murdoch empire, by Fox News, where a lot of people were able then to sort of claim it as their own and use it as a backdrop. And I think this is sort of interesting tension coming out in this letter that he wrote.
But if you stop and let the hijackers get on the truck with you, I mean, what did Mr. Odom think was going to happen here? The other aphorism that applies here is, when you lie down with dogs, don't you often get fleas?
Yeah, although it was always kind of unclear. I mean, you had these two strains that were kind of uncomfortably merged in the organization of the whole event. So you had people doing this who were doing it from some kind of grassroots place, and then you had these sort of professional AstroTurf organizations that have worked in the conservative movement. You had Fox News, and at a certain point, everybody likes the attention for the events they're organizing, right? So I think it was sort of accepted, and you see now the kind of the cost that comes with marrying yourself to these big institutions in the conservative movement that I don't think have much real connection to whatever there is of a right grassroots.
So where did this sort of split off? Because Odom wrote that the issues that the Tea Party protesters should be focused on at the federal level were socialized health care. We're assuming he's against it. Internet taxation, I'm not sure what he means by that, but we're assuming he's against it, and union card check, which we're assuming he's against. I can't really tell from one week to the next. But there are three items here, and it was portrayed nationally as just one item, taxation. Where did the other two go?
Well, those are card check, or I should say the right of workers to organize through the Employee Free Choice Act. That's a fairly obscure issue. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's the kind of thing that's going to mobilize a lot of people. They clearly seized on the tax issue because that's the issue that has this kind of totemic resonance in conservative politics. And, this guy, by showing that those are the things he's opposed to, shows that he's a pretty invested right-winger who has his kind of conception of politics. But that's not the kind of thing that's going to mobilize a mass movement. You're not going to be able to get people out in the street saying they're going to make a change to union law that will allow majority sign-up of workers in a workplace. It's hard to see anyone coming out for that protest. You mentioned AstroTurf. With this letter from Mr. Odom, can we now say that the claim that this is a grassroots movement is officially dead, or at least there are groundskeepers, dozens of groundskeepers involved in the grassroots? Yeah, I think there always were. I mean, it was never a completely genuine, expression of some kind of mass revulsion at the agenda being pursued in Washington. I also think that what you're going to really see is it's going to be interesting to see if conservatism can actually develop some genuine grassroots response to the policies they don't like. I don't think it's going to be particularly effective or popular because I think that largely the country's moving in an agenda that's sort of correlates to what the public will is. But there's a real tension in conservatism between this sort of authoritarian impulse and this kind of desire by the grassroots for something new.
Gold standard, silver coins, you shall not crucify mankind upon a cross of gold. Maybe that could work on that, or maybe not. Chris Hayes of The Nation, as always. Chris, great, thanks for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you, Keith.